Hello, and welcome to the weekly AI News on the AI with Arun show. In this episode, we are covering 34 distinct breaking news items from the last 2 weeks. We're talking about NVIDIA hitting a historic $5 trillion valuation, crashing software stocks, and a new platform that literally allows AI robots to hire humans. We have a lot of ground to cover. Let's get into the data. But before that, please consider becoming a member of the AI with Arun show. We start with a massive geopolitical shift in AI capabilities. For a long time, the narrative was that China was lagging behind the US. As of this week, that gap is closing fast. First, ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, has launched Doubao 2.0. This isn't just a chatterbox. They are positioning it for the agent era. It features complex reasoning and the ability to execute multi-step tasks that match OpenAI's GPT 5.2 and Google's Gemini 3 Pro. Because it's the most used AI app in China, this accelerates real-world automation across the entire Asian market. But they aren't alone. Another Chinese startup, Minimax, just dropped their M2.5 and Lightning models. Here is the kicker. They are using a mixture of experts architecture. Simply put, instead of one giant brain doing everything, it uses several smaller, specialized submodels. The result? Near state-of-the-art performance at 1/20th the cost of leading rivals. Finally, Beijing-based Zhipu.ai unveiled GLM-5. This is an open-source reasoning model that is now best-in-class for coding and systems engineering. This is a strategic pivot for China. They are focusing on industrial automation to bypass US export bans. The takeaway here, high-end AI is no longer a Western monopoly. Now, let's follow the money, because the numbers this month are frankly staggering. NVIDIA has achieved a historic milestone, briefly surpassing a $5 trillion market valuation. This growth is driven by insatiable demand for their Blackwell and Rubin GPU platforms. They are now the backbone of the world's economic and national security infrastructure. Meanwhile, Anthropic, the creators of Claude, just closed a massive Series G funding round. They raised $30 billion, valuing the company at $380 billion. This is the second largest venture deal ever recorded. They are using this war chest to build massive compute clusters to compete with OpenAI in the race for autonomous agents. And in the physical world, Alphabet's Waymo raised $16 billion. They are using this cash to expand robotaxi operations into London and Tokyo. This is their first major international expansion, signaling that driverless tech is finally ready for the world's most chaotic cities. All that software needs a home. The hyperscalers, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, and Oracle, have committed nearly $690 billion in capital expenditures for 2026 alone. That is nearly double what they spent in 2025. This includes the massive $500 billion Stargate infrastructure project. We are also seeing Nebius, an AI cloud firm, aggressively expanding. They are opening 9 new data centers across the US, France, Israel, and the UK to handle the overflow of enterprise demand. But here is the problem: energy. These centers burn electricity. That's why IBM Research just unveiled a breakthrough analog AI chip. Unlike digital chips that move data back and forth, this chip performs math inside the memory, just like the human brain does. This could be the key to stopping AI from draining the world's power grid. While hardware booms, software is bleeding. Stocks like Palantir and other software vendors have taken a hit. Why? Because investors fear that if AI can write code, companies will just build their own software in-house, rather than buying expensive subscriptions. Adding fuel to this fire, the cost of intelligence is crashing. Providers like Together AI have slashed the cost of running open-source models on NVIDIA's Blackwell chips by 10x. This is commoditization. When reasoning becomes this cheap, it stops being a luxury product and becomes a utility, like electricity. This challenges the entire business model of traditional software companies. So if software writes itself, what happens to the humans? We are seeing the rise of a bizarre new economy. Check this out. A platform called RentAHuman.ai has launched. It allows AI agents to hire humans for physical tasks, what they call meat space work. If an AI needs a test tube moved in a lab, it hires a human gig worker to do it. The script has flipped. The AI is the boss. Recognizing this shift, the US Department of Labor released a new AI literacy framework on February 13th. It lays out how to retrain the entire US workforce, admitting that we need to prepare millions of people for a labor market where they work alongside or under autonomous systems. The creative world is adapting fast. In Hollywood, visual effects artists, many of whom are facing layoffs, are flocking to Curious Refuge, an AI film school. They are retraining to use the very tools that threaten their jobs. In music, a startup called Mozart AI raised $6 million. Their platform generates multi-instrument tracks and music videos from simple prompts. This is fueling a massive debate about copyright and artist rights. And interestingly, Thailand has become the first Asian nation to launch the localized Sora app for video generation. OpenAI is using Thailand as a testbed to stimulate the creator economy in Southeast Asia. This is bringing high-quality deepfake tech to a massive new market. Beyond movies, AI is accelerating science. The Allen Institute, AI2, has debuted Auto Discovery. This is an autonomous system that reads millions of papers, generates hypotheses, and even writes code to test them. It's designed to speed up cancer research from years to weeks. But for these agents to work long-term, they need memory. Researchers just published work on recursive language models. These models can self-correct to stop context rot, which is when an AI forgets what you told it 3 days ago. This makes them reliable for complex, long-term scientific projects. On the safety side, Australia's TGA released strict guidance for AI medical software. They have clarified exactly when an app counts as a medical device, setting a high bar for safety and cybersecurity in healthcare. How is this hitting your daily life? 2 big updates. First, Apple is cracking open its walled garden. They announced that CarPlay will now support third-party AI chatbots. You can finally use ChatGPT or Claude to draft emails or plan routes while driving, bypassing Siri. Second, get ready for commercials. OpenAI has started testing ads in ChatGPT for free and low-tier users. They promise the data won't be shared with advertisers, but this marks a huge shift. The era of free, ad-free AI is ending, as they look to monetize their massive user base. In the financial world, the buzzword is Agentic AI. Gartner released a report showing that finance departments are seeing a 40% drop in costs by using AI agents. These aren't just chatbots answering questions. These agents are autonomously handling audits and accounts payable. Investors see it too. In early February, over $1 billion was poured into fintech startups that use these agents for commercial lending and risk compliance. Banks are moving from testing this tech to running their businesses on it. Now, to a more serious note, national defense. Israel's Ministry of Defense has awarded Elbit Systems over $100 million to build a digital army. They are integrating AI into the ground forces for what they call the first digital war, using data to make battlefield decisions instantly. On the corporate defense side, cybersecurity giant Check Point went on a shopping spree, buying 3 Israeli startups, Cyata, Cyclops, and Rotate, for $150 million. They are building a security shield specifically for this new agentic era, ensuring that when autonomous bots talk to each other, they don't leak your secrets. Governments are scrambling to regulate this. In Europe, the clock is ticking. Companies have until August 2, 2026, to classify their AI systems under the EU AI Act. If you have a high-risk system, you need to start your conformity assessments now, or face bans. Meanwhile, China is enforcing its labeling regime. Major platforms like WeChat and Douyin have been forced to implement watermarks and metadata scanners to tag AI-generated content. This proves that regulation can force rapid technical changes when the government puts its foot down. AI is also redrawing the map of global alliances. The US and Japan have signed a deep collaboration agreement. They are aligning their standards on computer vision and, crucially, semiconductor supply chains. They want to make sure the hardware for AI stays in democratic hands. On the other side, France and India led a group of 60 nations to sign the Inclusive AI Declaration. They are trying to carve out a third way, a path that balances American innovation with European safety, ensuring the global south isn't left behind. Speaking of India, the situation there is complex. The government highlighted the India AI mission, a huge investment of over 10,000 crore rupees to build domestic infrastructure and responsible AI under their 7 Sutras framework. However, there is tension. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang is reportedly skipping the upcoming India AI Summit. This snub highlights the tricky diplomatic dynamics in the global chip supply chain. Even with money on the table, access to the best hardware is not guaranteed. So if we step back, what do these 34 stories tell us? 1. The agent era is real. From ByteDance's Doubao to Gartner's finance reports, AI is no longer just talking, it is doing work. It's hiring humans, writing code, and curing cancer. Hardware is king. With NVIDIA at $5 trillion and Hyperscaler spending $690 billion, the physical constraints of energy and chips are the only things slowing this down. 3. The world is fragmenting. We don't have one global AI. We have a US-Japan bloc, a Chinese bloc, and a European regulatory wall. Navigating this will be the challenge of the decade. Whether you are an investor watching SaaS stocks crash, a creative watching Sora enter Asia, or a worker looking at the new Department of Labor guidelines, you need to adapt. I want to know what you think. Is the rent-a-human concept brilliant or terrifying? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching the AI with Arun show, and I'll see you in the next report. Please like, share, and subscribe, and consider becoming a member of the AI with Arun show.